Before we start this video today, it was brought to my attention the other day that it kind of looks like Hunter's flipping the bird. And you know why I think he's doing it? It's because he's getting sick of CG messing with the tags in this game! Let's start the video, shall we? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, all you beautiful Gungans and droids. I think I'm getting my limit. I'm pretty close to my limit of CG doing all the stupid control that they're doing over the tags. People, today we're going to kind of go over our first initial impressions of the new Hunter Mercenary that has come to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes and just really tackling this impenetrable logic that CG's doing with the tags. And you know, before we even get to the Hunter part, I want to let's just talk about it right here, right now. Here's what I want to discuss. So Hunter, you know, the next addition to the new Bad Batch crew, Season 3 team with the Omega Fugitive lead. Mercenary tags, right? So we have the Bad Batch tag. We got the Mercenary tag. There's a pretty big omission here. Clone Trooper! I mean, what? Are we not getting the Clone Trooper tag for this new Bad Batch team? I know we kind of had some, you know, sirens go off woo, 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 when we got the new Omega, because the previous Omega has the Clone Trooper tag, and they were like, oh, Omega Fugitive not gonna have the Clone Trooper tag. Okay, but Hunter surely is gonna get it right. Wrong. New Hunter doesn't have it, but again, same thing, the old Hunter does. Hey you, are you tired of playing mobile games that just makes you mad? Like this loser right here? Forget it. This game is trash! If so, let me introduce you to today's sponsor, SWGoH Muffin! Oh boy. SWGoH Muffin is a cozy fantasy MMORPG. Idle gameplay for prime relaxation for mobile gamers who want to take it back and enjoy the vibes. Players can enjoy a relaxing experience and thrilling dungeon fights. And guess what? You have the option, I kid you not, to switch between manual and auto. That's what I'm saying. A party dungeon allows you to have 4 to 6 players to cooperate together and slay the dragon, summon skills, and summon amazing pets called Mellowmons, and join a guild to make friends that are everlasting. So what are you waiting for? Take a chill pill, play a game that you can kick back, relax, and not feel the stress. Use my link down below or scan the QR code and get ready to embark on a good vibe only game from our sponsor today, SWGoH Muffin. Like, I get not having the Galactic Republic tag. Okay, it doesn't exist anymore, right? But the Clone Trooper tag, and even someone, you know, we had to really get some mental gymnastics going on here. I think we should be in the Olympics because of how much mental gymnastics has to be done here. Some were saying, all right, okay, maybe because he's technically not a active clone trooper in the sense like he's trooping, you know? But then it kind of falls flat pretty quickly because of 2 things. First and foremost, Omega was never in the sense a trooper, right? She's a clone, but she was never a clone trooper, yet she has the Clone Trooper tag. The second thing that kind of blows that out of the water is Captain Rex. He's not an active clone trooper as well. He was a clone trooper. He's still a clone, but he wasn't trooping for the Galactic Republic when we saw him in the Rebels TV show. So that kind of puts a hole in that as well. At the end of the day, I think it's plain and simple. As much as we try to sometimes give CG the benefit of the doubt and do some crazy mental gymnastics, it's this kind of furthering the thing that's been annoying me more and more and more. You know, the first noticeable one was Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker. Somehow he's not a rebel, and you know that, you know, he was just a Jedi. It's like, okay, that's a very interesting thing. You know, obviously at the end of the day, we could kind of see through the BS-ery that they didn't want Luke being Commander Luke Skywalker because it would have been a fun combo. Gosh forbid. We're kind of getting a little bit more extreme lately where the Enoch remnants, they're not Empire. They are. They're part of the new Empire. Okay, let's not get carried away here. And then Yeah, anyways, I might be getting a little too upset about this, but at the end of the day, it's kind of annoying, especially when trying to use this Bad Batch team. There are some abilities where I'm trying to hybrid between the old Bad Batch and new Bad Batch. They have to target a clone, but he's not a clone anymore. So CG, we kind of got to stop this. Now it's getting extremely blatant. General Luke, maybe. You could maybe really stretch an argument for Enoch. But, you know, Gideon's got the Empire tag. Let's be real. You see what I'm getting at? But now we're like getting really out there where Old Man Rex and Omega, pre-Omega, can have it, but not... And not the other Omega. Anyways, just getting a little upset about that. Thought I'd share that because that is my biggest criticism that I have about the Bad Batch Hunter Mercenary that we got here. Let's talk about how he is implementing himself into the game. So how about we get back to brass tacks here when we do these type of first look gameplay videos. First and foremost, if you're going to be modding up Hunter, we got a modding graphic provided by Paintball. I also upload these onto the ultimate spreadsheet that I put together if you want to go check it out. Hunter, kind of continuing the theme that we're seeing with Bad Batch Omega Fugitive. I don't know why I keep saying it in the full entirety of its name. And as well as Batcher. We got some good base speeds that we're working with here. I mean, whew, I can't be mad about that. Omega's really fast. She's got a good unique ability. Batcher's pretty fast. Hunter Mercenary's gonna be fast. Let's make sure we're capitalizing on the speed, making him as fast as possible, getting him out there, marking the enemies, and trying to get as many turns pumped out because we have this little conundrum with this special ability, and more turns should make it more better, as I like to say. And now let's get into what's probably, let's start off on the positive side, the highlight thing about him. Kind of two things, people. First and foremost, you know, in the current realm that we are in, we still have another month before the next two Bad Batch members to be added, Wrecker, Mercenary, as well as Crosshair, of course. In the meantime, I like take a shot in the context of the entirety of just like the old Bad Batch crew, because the biggest thing is, yeah, it's got Mark, and we're going to talk about Mark and how that really implements into the new team, I suppose. But all Bad Batch allies gain offense up and protection at 50% for one turn, and then you can call all Bad Batch attacker allies to assist, dealing 30% less damage. The offense up and the protection up are the two big things that I really like about this character. When I'm with the old Hunter lead for the Bad Batch crew, we do true damage based off defense, right? Well, you can see there's a difference when you have the offense up for this Bad Batch team. When you're able to attack, you're going to get more damage because, well, your true damage is increasing because of the offense up. That's nice. So if you're trying to make your old Bad Batch team better, yeah, all that additional damage based on the offense, feeding into the defense, feeding into the true damage, that adds up quite a lot. And it's just such a big difference for the team as well. And the protection up is huge. 50% protection up based off your max health. You're going to have some pretty beefy Bad Batch members. But furthermore, my friends, the focus cooperation is also pretty snazzy because at the start of the encounter, all your Bad Batch allies are getting 50% max protection. Yeah, the team, I like that. That's a nice, unique ability to have in there. And then we kind of get into the stuff that it's, you know, it's kind of hard to fully appreciate right now. But those are really the two biggest things that I like about him. Now you might be like, well, Arnold, what about the This Will Hurt ability? Yeah, I have, this is gonna vary. There's kind of an issue here. It's got a 30 turn cooldown. Now, of course, we have Omega Fugitive, which can reset it. If you have Relic 9, you know, you can basically kind of cut it down by a third every single time she uses the ability. And furthermore, we also have in his unique ability, Focus Cooperation, ways to try to reduce it even more. For example, if you scroll down a little bit here, whenever marked enemies defeated, expose all enemies for 2 turns and reduce the cooldown of This Will Hurt by 10. Okay, so that's gonna help out a little bit if you could try to knock some people out. That's where it helps out. And furthermore, whenever you are able to, whenever Hunter gains a stack of target practice, reduce the cooldown of This Will Hurt by 1. Okay, yeah, so we have ways to try to speed it up a little bit, but the problem is it's kind of got this variance of effectiveness. First and foremost, it's based off 100% of the target's max health, right? Okay, that's not bad, right? Well, what if the max health of the enemy is only like 40,000? Okay, you're not gonna get much. The other thing is, if you can get Mark on them, it gets a little bit better. The problem with Mark right now is there's a bit of a trade-off. You get the Mark on, we have lots of ways to mark with Batcher, lots of ways to mark with Hunter. Problem is, it's easy to get rid of it, and there's a trade-off, of course, but if you can attack someone With This Will Hurt, on someone who has Mark, you're going to do 200% damage based off their max health. Now, I have one clip of me going up against Ray with the supersonic cron with 100% max health, and even without Mark, I was able to get This Will Hurt to hit for like 200,000 damage. The problem was the Cal Kestis was still standing, so didn't really do much, but it was a big number. Other times I only got maybe 40,000. Again, depends on the max health of the character, and if you can get that Mark to stick around, even better. We're going to talk about the data cron that he's got with it in case you are someone that's going to take him to 7 stars. The data cron, it's going to be nice, but not in the ways you were probably imagining. So it feels, I think the issue that I have right now as it stands, big cooldown. Yes, it doesn't take a full 30 turns. It still takes a long time. It's not really an insta-kill, and it's over-conditioned based on the max health of the character you're attacking and if there was Mark on him. But don't get it twisted. I'm sure a lot of people are going to get some pretty good moves out of this, depending on if the situation is right. And again, we don't know what the next Bad Batch members are going to be bringing to make this even better. So keep that in mind. And if you're, and let's just get this out of the way. If you're someone that cares about Territory Wars, the Omicron, I'm kind of interested in it. I'm waiting for the rest of the team to pan out, whether with Omega or we're going to talk about the Mercenaries as well. But in Territory Wars, right at the very beginning of the counter, you can immediately use This Will Hurt. Using this at the very beginning, okay, we're talking a different ball game at this point. So I'm all about that. With that Omicron, he's able to use it right away. Then whenever he gains a stack of target practice, he can reduce the cooldown of this ability by 5. That's a lot faster than what is currently baked into his unique ability when he gets target practice. So in Territory Wars, this is going to be way, though I did say it 5 more times, way more effective than what you're seeing in my first look gameplay. Too bad it's not Grand Arena, or else it would have already been applied. And furthermore, if there are no Galactic Legends while Bad Batch allies captive, Bad Batch allies deal an additional instance of damage to the target enemy on their turn, which can't be evaded. And then whenever a marked enemy takes a turn, reduce their max health by 10% until the end of the encounter. Man, here's the thing. You know how you see me with a new character and I'm trying to use them in Squad Arena and I gotta wait till they get into Grand Arena to see the full picture? I want to see what this is like. This is a pretty powerful, unique ability. You get the faster cooldown, immediate cooldown reduction, I should say, on top of that. Ways to reduce max health on the enemy. Oh my gosh, this is pretty nice and very helpful because we were able to start finally appreciating the captive a little bit more. We're not really there yet where it makes a ton of sense. Right now, it feels way more prudent to stick with your old school hunter lead if you're trying to keep the Bad Batch crew up and running. But I was actually able to save someone with captivity for like the first time ever, which is nice. So that Omicron being able to do multiple instances of damage, that's going to help out a ton. Able to hit the enemies, get the target practice, moves things a lot faster to try to save someone who is in that captivity state. So we still need a little bit more to really get the full benefit of it. It's been the first time out of many battles, but we're getting there. The Omega lead is slowly coming together. Slowly is the key word I want to make sure I'm emphasizing here. So when you take all that in perspective, in the context of the Bad Batch Omega Fugitive, I keep saying the full title. I mean, I'm giving her the respect she deserves, right? She has a lot of titles, and she used to have a lot of tags. They took some of them away, but what am I to say about that? Anyways, in the context of the Omega Fugitive lead, I'm having a bit of a hard time staying interested in this team. I know we have 2 more characters. Crosshair cannot come soon enough, as well as Wrecker. But my issue is, when we first, Gungans were a great example of a new team that was coming. And day one, you see the cool core concept, the shield generator. And to be fair, they started off strong with Omega Fugitive. Massive cooldown reduction, the most powerful cooldown reduction in the game. We started off strong. But unlike the Gungans, where the next piece we started, okay, I see where this is going. And the next was like, even more. Yes, we're getting a degree of that, but not quite the same. I don't feel the needle moving too much. The biggest thing that I'm noticing right now is, I guess, an outlet for Omega Fugitive to really try to push to max her cooldown manipulation. And we're starting to understand the Mark a bit more. Mark, the Batcher's got some, Hunter's got some. Yes, it's going to be great for getting that extra damage on an enemy, or again, just trying to navigate your team around the field. But we see now, for example, whenever Mark expires an enemy through focus cooperation, you can daze them, inflict healing immunity, That's nice, right? And then at the start of the marked enemy's turn, you can inflict offense down on them, which can't be evaded. Then whenever a marked enemy is defeated, you expose all the enemies, you get the cooldown reduction. So we're seeing the needle just basically move, understanding that mark is kind of the core principle of this team, but not really enough to really move that needle where I feel a drastic difference in combat right now. The biggest thing that we're missing still, and this is why the old school Hunter Elite is just so much better, we're still lacking on the damage. Yes, when I can finally use This Will Hurt, yeah, it's nice. It's nice, but you know, it's still not as much as, like, let's say the old school Hunter Elite, which I'm constantly spamming out consistent true damage onto the enemy team, and I don't gotta wait that long. And then here's ultimately the other thing here. It takes a lot of setup to get This Will Hurt. It really does. The cooldowns, it takes a long time. Even Omega's like, dude, come on, let's go. Then you gotta wait for the unique ability to kind of move the cooldown manipulation a little bit faster, and then you have to hope you have the mark on the enemy, then you have to hope you have a lot of max health. At the end of the day, I said this exact thing. I know I'm being a little cheeky and a little funny, but realistically, why would I want to do all that work for Hunter when I can just turn one insta-kill? You see what I'm trying to get at here? I can insta-kill an entire team in like a minute with Nihilus versus Hunter. It's like, come on, let's go. Let's do it, man. Let's try to get you to that ability a little bit faster. And I think this is probably a situation that Siege is like, oh, shoot, he's kind of right. Do we change this or not? And we haven't really heard any updated word. They're going to nerf the interaction between Nihilus and Omega or anything in regards to that as well. So that's kind of the problem I'm at right now. I like Omega a lot. She's got a lot of cool stuff in her kit. It's just, it's not translating too well to her team. Her new team, I should say, at the one. Great in all these other teams. The kit, I seriously can't sing enough praise about. I'm having a ton of fun with it. But anyways, let's get back on topic. Finish up the last few thoughts I had about Hunter Mercenary. Well, let's talk about the Mercenary part. Wow, all the invigorating commentary. I know, trust me, I know. Soldier of Fortune, what he... Okay, this is where things get a little interesting. So, Soldier of Fortune, he's got the Mercenary tag. Soldier of Fortune, it's cool that they're adding more, right? It's like, you know, not all bounty hunter, you know, payouts and contracts are interesting, but everyone's kind of got one, so it's nice that they're doing that. This could just be more of an honorary thing, you know? Like, all right, he's a mercenary, got to give him something to kind of keep up with this new mercenary thing they're going for, which, okay. Whenever marked enemy is damaged by a mercenary ally, Hunter gains a stack of Soldier of Fortune. Okay, all right. And then whenever marked is dispelled or expires, Hunter loses 5 stacks of Soldier of Fortune. Okay. And then at the start, and this is where, like, you really like, or like, why? At the start of their turn, each mercenary ally gets 3% accuracy for each stack of Soldier of Fortune they have until the start of the next turn. Yeah, this is as close to being as useless as you can. It's like, it's a bunch of words, but it means nothing. You know, sure, it maybe helps sometimes, but there was a situation I'm fighting up against a Ray with a high evasion cal. Even with my accuracy, I was still having a hard time landing hit. So I don't know. This is kind of an odd thing to throw in here. Of course, maybe they don't want to make it too good because they want him to stick with the Bad Batch team that's being formed together. This is more of an honorary type of thing, but who knows? We don't know what Cross is going to bring, Record's going to bring, or maybe Soldier of Fortune accuracy could play a bigger deal. We got to wait and see. But focusing more on that, the problem that I have, you know, with him in a Balin skull lineup, like technically, yes, you could throw him in a Balin lineup. Yeah, you know, it's going to take a lot longer without the help of Omega, but you might be able to get This Will Hurt out, and that's, you know, it does something, right? You can get out there and hopefully get a big boost of damage. You know, it's not quite an insta-kill, but it might be an insta-kill in the right scenario with the proper amount of max health on the enemy. But yeah, it takes way too long to get up there. And then the problem is, take a shot, it's just going to inflict mark on the enemy. You're not going to be able to get that offensive protection to the rest of the mercenaries. If I could do that, I'd like this guy a ton more in a Balin skull lineup. Basic ability for the Balin lineup basically just gives critical chance up. It's kind of the main thing, and his unique ability here, it's mostly Bad Batch oriented, minus the mark synergy that he's got going on. So it's kind of a weird situation he's in, and especially when you throw in his exclusive datacron that he has through this event for Enduring Power. Now, we've had a couple of these. We had one for Padawan Obi-Wan, most notably, or the Great Mothers. I would say this is definitely not as powerful as those by any stretch of the imagination, where Padawan Obi-Wan's literally nuking out entire teams in like 2 seconds. Great Mother's nuking out entire teams in 1 second. Nothing like that. But I can see if you want to use this with the Balin Skull, when Balin Skull's Datacron goes away, this is going to be a good replacement. Now, I got the trash level 3 and level 6s. If you are going to do this, you want to try your best, especially for Balin Skull. Try to get that first little bit right there. We talked about Datacrons the other day where you get the extra 100% defense penetration, all the Soldier of Fortune, additional stuff as well. We didn't get that. But this level 9 on Hunter Mercenary, it's so weird. It gives him 30 speed and all mercenary allies 10 speed for each mercenary ally. That's a big boost of speed for Balin right there. Until the end of the encounter. Hunter Mercenary's ability, immune to ability block, cooldown increase, and turn meter reduction. Okay, sure. But it gets even more interesting. If all allies are mercenaries, it's not even like for Bad Batch either. Marked enemies deal 50% less damage. That's nice, right? Okay, taking advantage of the mark to the next level. Whenever a marked enemy deals damage merged to a mercenary ally, you get to spell all debuffs on that mercenary ally to require 15% protection. That's nice. Whenever Hunter inflicts marked an enemy, he's going to inflict instead the perma mark, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted, and then you call all mercenary allies to assist with Soldier of Fortune. Then whenever a mercenary ally takes a turn, the cooldown of Hunter's This Will Hurt is reduced by 1. So minus this Datacron, it's kind of tough to get Hunter to use that This Will Hurt. With the Datacron, however, you are going to be able to do that a lot easier just by having mercenary allies take a turn. So keep in mind, this is Datacron, it's temporary. Yes, you can use it Balin, and likely when Balin's Cron goes away, this is probably going to be the next best one after that. Beyond that, it just feels like he's not really too helpful. Beyond that. Yeah, so it's kind of weird. So either one, the Datacron's going to be useless for Hunter when we get the new Bad Batch team put together. That's going to be a little odd, I think. Or secondly, what if the Bad Batch team does not turn out to be good and his best use is going to be using it with the Datacron on the Balin team? It's kind of a catch-22. It feels like it's got to be one or the other. Unless maybe Crosshair or maybe Wrecker, they're going to get their own exclusive Datacron as well. Time will tell on what that's going to look like, but again, a weird conundrum here. Sometimes I get a little confused. I'm like looking at this and like, okay, what's the game plan here, Sage? Anyways, I digress. That's going to wrap it up for today. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see the needle move too much. The Datacron's probably going to be the most interesting thing about him right now. But I think with the next two characters coming, I'm hoping that we're going to start amplifying the effects of Mark a little bit more. Try to get more ways of getting damage out there. And you know what? My gut's telling me Crosshair is going to be that solution. So people, leave your like, comment down below on all your beautiful thoughts. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, testing out these characters. You know, not every character can be amazing, of course. I understand that. Not every character is always fun to test. But you know what? No matter if the character's amazing, boring, you guys always make it a good time for me. So thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you hanging out with the King of Trippy Gods, Get the Mobile Gaming. And I want you guys to remember the one thing and one thing only. And that is, my friends, how it's great to be in the Empire today.